these people were that lived here. I didn't know how they got here. That wasn't important. What happened was I had the thought about living here someday, the dream, and it created a space that didn't exist with me before I had that thought.
Because they're just saying, I want a chemical state. Great. It's transient. It's going to go away. It's not very useful for you. Then, once we get past that you want to be happy, you're going to guess at some random things that make you happy. I want to be around my family, all that. Okay, well, let's put that in context. You're here seeking a job, or you're asking me a question about being an entrepreneur, and you're telling me that the thing that makes you happy is being with your family.
Warriors are invincible until their own minds and mouth betray them. Many of those around you won't be able to see your dream.
Are you ready? You got a few that's pushing you. Come on, let's be honest. Can we just be honest for a second? Come on, there's two. Many people writing on you about a mother she's been doing everything she can to put food on the table. You got to do it for her. You got a father that's counting on you, got to do it for him. You got some siblings that are watching you right now, you got to do it for them. You got a grandmother who's been praying for you, got a grandmother who's been looking out for you, you got a grandmother that you got to do it for her. But guess what else you got to do it for you? You got to get fueled on the inside and say, now is my time.
And then over time in my life, I went to work on finding the people, the places, the things, and the resources to make this thought a reality. Just like the chair you're sitting in started with a thought, all of the details, the fabric, the seat, the structure became real. This beach house, me living here, just started with a thought, and it created a whole new space in my life, whole new set of possibilities that over time I filled in to make a reality. Just like you can if you think those big thoughts. I started to think about what I wanted my life to look like. Ultimately, if you don't take control about what you think about, you don't begin to dream and picture your life for what you want, the rest of the world's going to dictate to you who you turn out to be. But if you start to stack, man, I've got self-confidence, right? I'm a leader.
I can't help you with that. In fact, I'm going to do the exact opposite. If I do my job, I'm pulling you all away from your family all the time. I'm trying to get you to commit so deeply to what we're trying to accomplish here that you're going to be absent just from a physical time perspective. And my only hope is that I light you on fire with so much passion that I send you back to your family full of joy, optimism, and a vision for you being able to do anything you want. Now that's infectious. Your family will love you for it, and they'll push you right back into my loving arms. But that's still not the truth. That's me feeding you answers. So once we get past that and we paint that picture, we finally get to I don't know, which is the truth that lies on top of the better truth that I'm going after.
I've got the ability to persuade. I've got self-worth. I'm taking these actions. And then you start to really get a clear picture and a clear dream using your blessings and your gifts. You've got such a chance to do something great. And here's the good news. You don't have to be any age to do that. You don't have to be 30 or 40. There's not some magic number. It's you. You're the magic. And this time can be yours. Start to get that experience. Always be positive. Stay away from negative people. Next thing, be careful who you associate with. Don't allow negative people in your circle. You're going to become the 4 or 5 people you hang around the most. Make sure you're hanging around positive and growth-oriented people who also want to make their dreams come true. Because as you get older in life, your parents will tell you, or you parents can tell your children, it's what separates us is who we associate with. So I want to challenge you, read, pray about it if you're a praying person. Ask God to join you in your business. And believe me when I tell you, anything is possible at any age, at any time, if you stack up some of the things we've talked about today.
Which is that thing underneath that you never thought you were able to acknowledge, that is the thing that you really want. And for me, it was finally admitting that I didn't have to wait for my family to make good choices. I could find a way to trick them into eating healthy. Once I honestly accepted that that's what I wanted, that I was not prepared to wait, that I was going to be a Jedi. I was going to walk up to somebody and I was going to get them to do things that was quite literally against their will. And I was going to make them want to do it. And it was going to be better for their life. And they were ultimately going to thank me. And I was going to do it without any force at all. I was going to do it by understanding them as a human being, by attaching myself to the things that were already working for me, their biological impulse to eat something that they crave, their biological impulse to soothe themselves with food. I knew, I've got all that. I know those levers are there. So now I just have to do the hard work of making something that's actually good for them, that has all of those taste pathways. Once you get to that thing that you just, for whatever reason, I use video games a lot just because it's one thing, at least when I was growing up, your parents told you it was stupid, they told you you were wasting your life, but in your head you're like, but I really love this. Like I'm not killing time. You understand that, right? Like, I'm angry. I'm about to throw stuff at my TV. Like, I'm not having a good time, but I love it. There's so much drive and passion for things like that. It doesn't have to be video games, but what is that thing that you don't feel like you can admit, that you want to know more about than anyone else on this planet? That the more you went into it, the more you learned about it, the more you obsessed over it, the more you acquired the skill set needed to be great at that thing, that you were having a better and better time, and that what would failure look like? Could you fall on your face every day? Could you be ridiculed by your family every day for this and still love it?
There is no perfect moment. Now is the only perfect moment you need. Let me say that again. Now is the only perfect moment you need. Stop waiting for later. Now is the time to say, I'm gonna be successful. Don't wait for later. Say, now is the time that I'm getting in the books. Don't wait for later. Now is the time to say, I'm gonna make the next step. To say, I'm ready, I dare you to. Write that, put it somewhere, some comment. Put it somewhere and say, I'm ready, now is the time. I'm ready to build a legacy. I'm ready to make my mark. I'm ready to do this for my family. I'm ready to do this for my mother.
But you don't need them to see it in order for it to happen. All you need is a set of your own eyes that do. Knowing how to do something right isn't enough. The greats are great because they forgot how to ever do it wrong. Before sickness can get your body, it must first get your mind. The doors that haven't opened in your life are value locked doors. Meaning the doors of opportunity that you have waited for so long to open will not open until you first embrace your self-worth and see your true value. Every day, live towards the pursuit of success requires dedication, discipline, and resiliency. For victory to be materialized, one must dive deep into the belly of failure and snatch it away with undeniable will. Clinging to the shores of safety.
The time has come. The moment of truth is here. The question is, are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have the strength? Everybody wants to win, but they don't understand what it means to sacrifice to win it all. Everybody wants to be a champion, but are you prepared to work hard enough to become the champion that you believe you can be? Do you think you have the mindset now? Do you understand what it means to get into what they call beast mode? But I'm here to let you know right now, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't about being beast mode. It's about life and death mode. It's about putting it on the line.
I'm ready to win for my father. I'm ready to make my last name bigger than my first name. I'm ready to make history. I'm ready to do something nobody's ever done before. I'm ready to speak to every mountain in my way and tell that mountain to get out my way. I'm ready to make a difference. I'm ready to do something in my community. I'm ready to be the leader in my neighborhood. I'm ready to study. I'm ready to finish these papers. I'm ready to get this diploma. I'm ready to be educated. I'm ready. I dare you right now just to say, I'm ready. It's my moment. It's my time. I'm not just hyped up. I'm informed and transformed and ready to do something that nobody ever thought I could do. It's your time. It's your moment.
And comfort denies one the glory of conquering the seas. Leave your cowardice on the beach and like the bold captains of legend, sail directly into the vast ocean of greatness. Success is war, and sometimes a very costly one. To be victorious, one must be willing to shed their own blood, sweat, and tears upon the battlefield of days until destiny waves the white flag of surrender. The master key that unlocks all bondage is hidden in the mind of the one who thinks they're enslaved. Words, no matter how beautifully said or written, will always place second to the art of action. All the great men and women of history at some point in their life decided to be great. Decision is the womb that action is birthed out of. Doubt and pessimism are both malicious thought perspectives that seek to derail the birth of greatness.
It's about pushing yourself and giving it 110%. of everything you got. There is nothing that you can do once you're here except finish what you start. When the weakness starts to talk to you and whisper sweet nothings in your ear, you got to recognize that that conversation doesn't help you. That conversation that you're having with weakness is not gonna build you. It's not gonna push you. It's not gonna lift you. You got to recognize that there's work that must be done. You got to be responsible. You got to be capable. You got to be willing to work for what you want. I know sometimes people like to talk the talk. I know some people like to pretend to be something they're not. I know sometimes people say they're lying.
Make an impact. People may doubt you, but I'm not worried about people. Doubting you teachers may even doubt you, but I'm not. Worried about teachers doubting you, friends may doubt you, but I'm not. Worried about your friends doubting you. The problem is when you doubt you, that's what I'm worried about. Who doubts you? I'm worried when you doubt you. Because when you doubt you, you can't get nothing done. When you doubt you, every little thing that gets in your way turns you back. When you doubt you, all of a sudden things just seem to be harder. But out of everybody who doubts, you can't doubt you got to believe in you.